Hey, well, this is Joe Knotts with the Anvil and Iron podcast, and today I'm riding with a real FinTech cowboy, Dave Mayo. He's founder and CEO of FedFis, co-founder of Bankers Helping Bankers, and president of the Bankers Helping Bankers Banking as a Service Association. That's a lot of B's, Dave. Hey, I'm thrilled to have you on the Anvil and Iron podcast, where we believe iron sharpens iron. And I'm thrilled to hear from you and learn from you today. There's only one you in the world, so tell me about you.
Man, gosh. I get this a lot where I was at a conference this last couple of days and on a panel and speaking to people and, tell me about your background. You don't want to know. I mean, it's a long story. It's a cool story, but every now and then you get these guys that came from nowhere that were just lucky, and I'm that guy. I just got lucky. Right place, right time. I think there's some neat things just like, I don't know if it's a weird thing in our culture about old people are dumb and, you can't work your phone. We did build the damn thing, right? So there's a lot of neat things that happen technology wise and stuff like that. And I just happened to be the guy at the right place, right time, every one of them. So been a neat ride.
You've joked that you're a fifth generation rancher and a fourth generation banker. Who ended up in technology? How in the world does that happen, Dave?
Man, again, luck, timing, weird stuff. Nobody in my family had ever gone to college. And I went to college after I got out of the Marines to play around, have fun, and maybe learn something along the way. Well, it turns out the teachers are a whole lot better in college, and so man, I'm having a really good time. I'm into botany, I'm into everything. And then I messed up and I took an economics class, and it was like, oh wow. And I really dig the stock market and finance and all of the analysts, and ended up getting a degree there, and just crazy stuff. Went out with this girl, and I was planning on transferring to Oklahoma, and ended up staying where I was at. And we just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary. But, just crazy things happen in life, and you end up with some little company nobody's ever heard of doing something. I didn't really even know what it was. It's hard to explain because we couldn't talk about software. It didn't exist. We'd heard of a PC, but nobody had ever seen one. And we're talking about 2 floppy disks, no hard drives back then. And I ended up at a company that turned out to be QuickBooks, and stumbled from there into my next company, which turned out to be Ross Perot's EDS core banking. So from there to the greatest data company probably ever, Shushenoff, that ended up turning bought by Thomson Reuters. And it's like, so you built the first bank database, you did all this. I mean, how did that happen? Man, if I was in charge, I'd have messed it up. And then, crazy stuff. How do you end up with the smartest guy in the world in bank technology and everything? Turns out to be your son. Man, I couldn't have orchestrated that if I tried.
So, that's your son you're complimenting?
Yeah, Tanner, man. Tanner Mayo is, oh, golly, man. He's the other FinTech cowboy.
I got you. Awesome.
Yeah, everybody turns to Tanner for insights, information, and, he was probably at the forefront of, so the first bank mobile app that was a true mobile app, iOS, first digital. The company was named Malazai, Tom Shin's company. Tanner was one of the first guys there, and they had to build every API integration back before anybody knew what an API was.
Sure.
Every core, every bill pay, every payments, all of it. And of course, so when that ended, they sold out, and he came back to work with us. We took financial data, high performance banking, peer grouping, and all this, and then we added the technology pieces to that, because that's something we call the fintegration ecosystem that me and him invented one night, hanging out, drinking a beer at our picnic table in the backyard. You can't even make this up. Then it was like, it's a great story, man. I'll tell you what, about 10 o'clock at night, whispering to me. I'm like, I can't hear you, man. There's nobody here. 20 acres of land. We're sitting on the back porch. And he said, man, I'm afraid somebody's going to hear us. This is huge. We take out the whole tech stack and figured out how to do all of this. Write it down. I'm like, well, let me get to work and see if we can really make this happen. And we were able to do that. And I remember when we landed, in our business, Fiserv's database, their CRM system is the gold standard. And can we achieve some level of quality there? Man, we were shooting, hoping for 80% would have been like over the top, right? 98 is what we hit. 98%. And here's the funny part. There were out of, like 2,600. There were 13 that were off. 3 of those had not been fully implemented yet, and 1 we had wrong, and 9 they had wrong in their system. So it was
Wow.
almost 100%. Boy, I'll tell you what, we almost wrecked the truck. I mean, we were having it like, ah. So it was a great moment, father-son moment to have created some things that really unlocked the door for FinTech, for us to be able to then take that to the FinTech world. You want to talk about Chime or whoever, or Robinhood, what's the tech stack there, right? So now we're mixing financial performance with technology, with mergers and acquisitions. How much money is being spent for these courts to get business, or this mobile to get that business? How much of that is affected by M&A versus organic growth in the churn process? Oh man, I mean, we unlocked the door for everything. So it's pretty cool.
That is pretty awesome. I love to hear about your family life. That's nothing. There's nothing greater than to be able to work really well with your offspring. I have a little bit of that in mind.
Yeah.
You know what else is funny? It sounds like you have at least 2 country songs that you've introduced to us already. One was "There Was This Girl," back in college, right? I think you might have met her in econ class. I'm not sure. And then it started with a beer. So ain't nothing that a beer don't make better. Well, I
Hold
don't.
my beer and hang on here. So
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. So hey, one of the things that in Bankers Helping Banker, or I'm not sure if it is FedFis. I think it's FedFis. Truth in banking is like an ethos of yours. What truth are bankers still missing in 2025?
All of it.
They're missing all of it.
There were 12,000, over 12,000 banks when I was, started my career in banking, and now we're below 4,500. When you look at community banks, which is the bulk of those numbers, and everybody, when I hear people say, "Oh, we have too many banks," I'm like, based on what? How did you come up with that when we've lost 3/4 of them? Bullshit. What we have is too many big banks. And if you'd like to be number 7,000 on their list, you're a company policy at that point. You don't have a person to deal with. Joe, you and I can talk. We can sit down in front of each other. Try that with Jamie Dimon.
Right.
Nothing, man. You're a policy. At that point, you've lost control of the credit process and the access to credit. And if you think about like a supply chain, right? Gosh, we got to know about that in COVID, right? Well, if you took the financial supply chain and you control with 4 or 5 institutions, or let's just say the top 100 that control all access to credit in the United States, well, you're going to see the emergence of something else. Well, poof, here comes private credit and FinTech and all these things, because access to credit is everything in a business. So getting funding to start your great idea and change the world, right? Hey man, we can build a computer, we can build software, we can build a phone that can connect to the internet. There's all kinds of things we can do. Well, now we've evolved the financial world into that aspect. People talk about the digital transformation. Hey man, it's your phone. That's where you go get a loan now. Nobody wants to go in and take off work or go on a Saturday and try to do a loan inside of a bank. I mean, it's crazy. Go to Rocket Mortgage, man, and when I want to trade stuff, I can hit Robinhood. I can do all kinds of stuff now. I don't need a bank. Uh-oh. What problem could come from that, right? Be careful what you wish for. Now we have all kinds of FinTechs out there that, man, it's great. They give me 8% on my savings account. And it's like, oh, how do they do that? Is there risk involved? All right. And everybody, I tell everybody all the time, there's an insurance company in banking called FDIC. It's really a big deal. And they're very, very careful not to let people lose money. And so it's like, well, it's only insured at $250 per account. And it's like, yeah, if you're a Halliburton making payments, that's going to be a lot of banks you're going to have to work with to be able to do that. So obviously we have more than 250 on the commercial side. And a lot of the business owners and regular people would have more than 250. Well, let's let a bank fail and everybody lose their money. You'll see a lot more in a hurry, right? So it's kind of like that It's a Wonderful Life movie at Christmas where they have the bank run. It's like, uh-oh. And we can't have that in the financial supply chain, a breakdown. It's based on faith. And we have to have that faith. Well, when fintechs come along, we have things like Synapse. Not really a fintech, more of a connector, but we have failures in the system. You know, I mean, it's like when the system breaks down, we break down. You know, it's kind of the old Marine Corps thing, right? We have to work as a team and we have to work efficiently. And I was speaking to these bankers yesterday, actually. You know, I told them we have access to innovation. We were talking about stable coin and crypto and what's the future. I'm like, man, I don't want to talk about the future. I don't know anything about the future. But I can tell you, we make decisions. We're really good at it. Doesn't mean we make good decisions, but we're good at making them. And that is a problem. We need to make the decision to stay engaged. I want to learn. Let's learn about fintech. Let's learn about crypto. It'll perfect itself over time. Where did this crazy world of payments and all this stuff come from that fintech really spawns out of? There's a machine called an ATM. That's where it all began, and that stands for, get this, man, this will make you laugh, automated teller machine. Okay, that's comical in itself. It's an automated teller. Man, it's the fundamental basis of payments. Okay, of where all this really spawned, all this fintech from Robinhood to Chime, you name it, man. Crypto's another thing just like that. You know, we have wealth management, what we call it now. It's access to another world. We got bank accounts, savings accounts, Well, now I can buy Tesla stock. Eventually, you'll be able to do that over here in the crypto world. And they're all going to work together to move money. When we take the world economy, now we've got a different situation. Is there risk? Yeah, but there's a lot of cool opportunity too, man. So there's neat things out there where I think community banks have a distinct advantage because of things like Durbin. So the Durbin Amendment caps at $10 billion in assets. You can change what you charge for interchange. That's a really big advantage. A little bank would be like, I hadn't lost anybody here to this fintech stuff. But collectively, if you had a national bank like Chase, this is terrifying. Little bits along the way to your little bank here and a little bank there. This is what creates the competition for capital, which is the fundamental basis of capitalism in our economy. We got to have that engine rolling, and it's a good thing.
Gotcha. Well,
I've got one question for you.
Please.
I want to know more about what you guys do.
Well, I tell you what, we'll get to that towards the end. This is all about you,
okay.
not about me.
That was a great teaser. It's like, but wait, there's more.
I know. Wait, there's more. Hey, I've got actually a sidebar that's not on my typical thing of asking folks. You mentioned the ATM. So my father-in-law started with NCR about 45 years ago, and he was going all around the world kind of setting up ATM networks. Did you know any like some people like that dealt with that kind of ATM infrastructure over?
So when I worked at EDS, they worked heavily with Deluxe, the checks guys, NCR, the ATM guys, And what was really cool is, once everybody gets an ATM, whether it's private or bank owned, then we have maintenance. Man, you talk about a racket. Boy, howdy, that was a good one because they're always breaking down. You got to go in there and have somebody fix it, have a maintenance contract. NCR made a lot of money there.
Yeah. He ATMSI was I guess he left NCR to start ATM, like they wanted him to start ATMSI as kind of like an offshoot or what have you. It was out of Columbia, Maryland. So he was working for them when I went into his office to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage, and I think he
didn't throw you out the window?
Nope, he didn't. That was kind of him. So anyway, that's interesting. Kind of the way our paths kind of cross here. So
that's the funny thing about this damn business is somebody somewhere along the way, because it's money, right?
Yeah. Hey, you've mentioned that Bankers Helping Bankers is about saving community banking. What did you see in 2021 that made you pull the trigger? What tells you what kind of things are you seeing? How do you measure success?
That's a great question. That's like a super great question. So we have a conference that we put on once a year, and it's like, so you started your own conference. we're stupid people. I mean, we just do dumb shit all the time. And you get sick and tired of going to conferences. And they just get bigger and dumber. And they get, how do they fund a conference? Well, if my dog Crockett here was to pay enough money, he'll have a speaking spot. That doesn't mean that he knows a damn thing about what he's talking about, right? And he's a pretty smart dog.
Did you say your dog's name Rocket? Crockett. Did you have?
Davy Crockett, yeah.
Gotcha.
But these, we have exhibit halls, and at gunpoint, they want the bankers to go into the exhibit hall, at least make a pass through so they can keep their sponsors coming. None of this is doing anybody any good. And so we're all sick and tired of it. And we pitched this idea to some people I knew at Thomson Reuters, and they've got a big outfit that does a bunch of conferences. No, it's a great idea. The only thing I don't like about your idea, Dave, is you wanted to do this for the bankers for free. And I'm like, you literally missed the whole friggin' point, man. I mean, what we've got to do is merge the world of what I would call, emerging technology, right? And banking. Banking, it's complicated as hell. It's regulated out the wazooski, and they are the most risk-averse people in the world. And then here come the guys from California, man. I mean, and we're talking literally about banking that's been done since a friggin' Stagecoach, Wells Fargo kind of stuff, right? The real cowboy days. And then we get in this time of technology, money movement, changing everything. Buy now, pay later. Earned wage. I mean, we're like Uber, where you get paid that day, right? There's so many things that they've come out with on the tech side that's changed everything. And there are things that are massively appealing to, let's just say, younger people in a digital era. And everybody that looks at that, that's the future, it's the old people, and it's like, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if you're 7 years old or 107 years old. At some point in your life, if you accumulate any amount of money, that's going to be a big deal to you. It's the safety of your money, not what's the rate of return you got or this or that. Man, by that point, you own properties that are income productive. You've diversified your life into a point to where I can't afford to have my bank go under and lose my money. So when you're playing around in the FinTech world, I want everybody to understand this and be real clear. The FDIC, that insurance company, insures the bank. It does not, I don't give a shit what you hear, insure the tech company. Chime, are they 100%? Are they insured? No, they are not FDIC insured. Well, it's pass-through account. If you can find 5 guys in the world who can talk to you about what a real pass-through FDIC insurance is, bullshit. No one understands this. And every time it's tested, nope. The only way that it actually was, we had a failure in FinTech and everybody got their money back, was because the bank had handled that. So part of these things with the cool part of the money and the cool part of the banking, there's a FinTech world that can create badass stuff. I mean, really cool stuff. But they need a bank behind them to have access to the payment rails to do the things that are necessary to move the money. So they call that a sponsor. The sponsor bank is the show. That's where we're going to go out here and get this done correctly. So I tell everybody, I need to know how much money Joe has in his bank account at Chime. Well, that's pretty hard because Chime sends one account to its sponsor bank. It aggregates all the Joes together and sends what's called an FBO account, for benefit of. So the bank can tell you the total amount of that FinTech, but it's very difficult for them to tell you all the little, every million customers in there. That was a problem. So we saw that right off and formed a lot of these things and organizations around solving that. We need to have FinTech and banking to be just as safe as regular banking, which requires community banks. Okay, now we've arrived at, why do you want to save community banks? To protect your ass. That's why. At the end of the day, if you think it's so cool to be in France, go move there. This is the U.S., the world's currency, the best financial system. And I mean, it's badass. And we can innovate unbelievably. But I tell everybody on the FinTech side, when I'm talking to them, be an adult, quit acting like a child. I could come up with $100 billion of capital and create whatever the hell. It doesn't have to work. And I don't even have to make money. I'll just go get more capital. The job here is to innovate. We call it innovation at zero. Banking is not on a scale of 1 to 10 with risk. It's zero risk. It has to be. Well, if you're the banker, I need to bring my FinTech company that I want to make money with to work with you in a completely risk-free way for you. Now think that through. If I'm a bank and I'm working with these guys that are 100% margin money for me at zero risk, this is a deal. But they've got to cover the compliance because ultimately the banker is responsible for that compliance and the safety of the money. Innovate at zero risk for the bank, you'll find bank partners everywhere. Now we've diversified the competition for capital, and your grandkids will be able to open that candy store and do the cool things that they want to do, or innovate new ways to do ATMs.
Talk to me about embedded finance and a death by 1,000 cuts. Is that your quote?
Embedded finance. So in banking, when I talk to bankers, we've been here since 1910. You don't need to tell us how to do banking. It's like we can't really get in survival mode. That's why it's not that the banks are dying; it's they're selling to each other. Two banks merged, we lost a charter. Two banks merged, we lost a charter. Okay, these charters are hard to come by, and you're giving them away to each other because you can't figure out how to get out of the banking business without just selling the bank. Well, it's because banking's not sexy and the young people don't. Because you're a dumbass. Banking is really sexy. It's badass. It's cutting edge technology. It's good stuff. And you're right. It's where the money's at, right? It's regulated because we'd steal all of it, but it wouldn't, you know? I mean, I make that joke all the time, and it's like, that's the truth. Why do they have so many regulations? Bankers would steal the money and they'd rip you off. And it's like, boy, bankers like offended by that. I know they're highly ethical people, or they wouldn't be in this business. But we damn sure have rules around it, and there's reasons we have rules around it. As we move into FinTech world, all right, so what you have is a bank that does, we'll just call it a geographic area. That's how you got that charter, was to serve this area. Well, how all of a sudden are they going from Austin, Texas, Nashville, or Sell, Oklahoma, all the way across the United States and serving things? That's what FinTech does. They're not bound by that. They can go to, where's Robinhood? Everywhere. Where's, Chime? Wherever you want to be, right? Okay. Allowing your bank to have access to those things, being a sponsor bank, allows this FinTech company to use banking features and functions. They can now issue a debit card. They can do, issue a loan. They can offer services that are financial services. That's a vast banking operation. A direct bank would be a division of a chartered institution. Badass bank, redneck bank. There's a ton of these things now that the bank has actually created its own FinTech. It doesn't look like the bank mobile app. It looks like a different critter. It's part of that bank. They have their own FinTech, okay? So you got sponsor banks, you got direct bank, and then we have embedded finance. Wow, embedded finance, man. This is where companies want to incorporate things, financial incentives and things like that. So there's a grocery store chain in Texas, huge, called HEB. Man, they're first on the floods, they're first on the hurricanes, they're always there. And 18-wheelers come to the rescue. Everybody loves HEB. Well, HEB now offers a debit card. You get 5% off HEB branded products at the store, whether you're online or in the store, either way. Man, I'll tell you what, everybody I know, they're like, should we do that? Is your wife asking you about that? Mine is too, right? Everybody wants 5% off their groceries. And so what HEB did was partner with a bank to offer this ability to offer a debit card to their customers. It's kind of like Starbucks. It's kind of like Walmart. It's kind of like you go down the list and all of a sudden all these corporate, before you know it, well, I'm not a country star singer, except in the shower, right? But there are a ton of them that are tuning into this. And before you know it, if you and me had a band and we were big time rock stars, don't you think we'd like our Wouldn't it be cool if our merchandise, our tickets, and everything else was actually bought on our card? Whoa. Now this gets neat. That's embedded finance. In the beginning, we drive down the road, and if we turn right, there's this grocery store A, and then turn left, there's grocery store B. They fight each other. Lower cost, less filling, tastes great. The guy has to make a decision which one he wants to go to. Now they can fight. Marketing with dollars. I can incentivize you to turn right with 5% off groceries. Whoa, the other guy's like, better produce. We're fucked. Right? We're not going to make it. We can't compete with this guy, man. These guys are kicking ass because they can fight with money. All right, now this is where the rubber hits the road. Our country is founded on people that, with no air conditioning, got in a wagon and a horse, fighting Indians and climate, and oh my God, and literally pulled this off to create the greatest nation in the world. There's some badasses right there. Tough people, smart people.
We'd still be in Plymouth if it was up to me.
Right.
I'd have been like, turn it around. It's too hot, too bumpy.
But when you really sit down and think about innovation, this is the heart of capitalism. That's why it doesn't work everywhere else. When Crockett can go out there and create cool things and all the other dogs want to be like him and party with him and say, man, this guy's really something. Okay, his ability to create, fight, survive, innovate, he can unleash that in America. American business is the greatest thing ever. It is based on one factor: compete and kick the other guy's ass, coming up with cool stuff. Whether that's fresher produce or lower prices, or whether it's fighting with money and innovation. Now, when I was a kid, man, my mom had a Golf, a Texaco, a J.C. Penney's, a Dillard's card, and now everybody has one, right? They got their credit card or their debit card. We're going back the other way, where every branded company out there wants to have its own card. Let's just say that card was a program instead of a card. Maybe it is 5% off groceries, or maybe it's Taylor Swift selling merchandise, or maybe it's a new way to move money 24/7 with your business account when you're working with ships that may come in at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and you can't unload the ship until you pay the invoice, right? Oh, now we're getting into another game. The guy that can come up with a way to innovate that so he can do banking when you can't. Or this is the money part of competition in the United States. We need capital to come up with new companies. Once I have them, now I got to compete in the marketplace. Well, hell, even how you market to people. There's marketing companies that are so good at this, it's unbelievable. Look, bring in 30,000 new deposit accounts a month. Like, this is nuts, man, in a good way. The digital world on your phone has unlocked the potential of American business. And at the heart of American business, I always tell everybody, whether we're talking about FedFis, the data company, or whether we're talking about the Roundup, the conference, or bankers helping bankers, or our own fund, at the end of all this, guys, you produce something that's worthwhile that people want, and they want it bad enough that you can send them an invoice and they'll pay the damn thing. And if you're lucky and smart, it's more than what it costs you to do it, right? Okay, now we have a profit. Let's go get them, Tiger. And the more of that you have, it's like water in the desert, man. You love it and you want more. Okay, that's American capitalism. And everybody can love it or you can hate it, but it is the best that's ever been. But it doesn't work if you don't have access to capital. If you can't borrow money or raise money from a fund with your brand new idea and pitch in your pitch competition and get funded by these companies and launch and grow and do all the neat things and take advantage of it, we're just as dumb as the rest of the planet. All right. This is what makes us great. We don't want to mess that up. And at the heart of all of it is banking. So wait a minute. You went to BlackRock, you went to hedge fund, I got capital, they had nothing to do with a bank. Well, eventually that private capital gets turned into paper and sold to who? Bank of America, Chase, right? All right. Now we've more centralized the access to capital. If you look at the bigger picture and sit down and say, hey man, what if we could take that all the way across all the little banks in the country and let them fight? We'd have 1,000 or 4,000 Chases or B of A's or Wells Fargo's. Screw those guys, man. They don't have any reason to have a lock over our country or competition for capital, our money. And think what that does. Man, I have these young guys that come out on the weekend. You know, they're come from a pretty hard background, man. They're never going to be that guy, right? And they're like, you should talk with Dave Mayo and hang out with him. Come on out to the ranch. I'll work your ass off for a couple hours and I'll pay you for it. And we'll put that money in an envelope and we'll open you a Roth IRA. Well, 5 years down the road hanging out with these guys, man, they're hitting me up. Should I buy, sell this, a stock or that? Or we're looking at doing it. And they're running multiple businesses now. It's really cool to see young people fired up to make money and trying to figure shit out. What's cool, man, I'm talking to guys, me and you, right? They don't know what these young guys know about how to open an Amazon store, right? Or how to do these different things. They don't even have a store. All of this is virtual. The product, everything. It all starts with, I have to have a card non-present way for a person to buy my product in my store that's not even here. Whether the product's from China, being fulfilled in India, being shipped by whatever. Man, the world is out there because you're playing on your phone. All right. What enables all of that? Embedded finance.
Cash.
It's kind of a big deal, man. And, back to, how'd you start your career? Lucky. Oh, man. So when we unlocked all of this technology stack, all of a sudden, we see how it all works and where it could go and how it could be done. We understand banking and all of this, so we understand all of the compliance pieces, not just the great idea the guy in California had, but how to actually implement that into banking in a compliant way. That's where we use our data company, our technology skills, and bankers helping bankers and all this. And everybody asks, so what is it that you guys do with the bankers helping bankers part? Not the fund or the best. We help banks. And we do it for free. Like, why do you do it for free and how do you make money? Well, we make money all kinds of different ways. We don't need to make money off the backs of bankers. And why do we do it for free? Because they've been lied to by every son of a bitch out there. People sell anything to anybody, and that's on our roadmap. We're having that. Oh, yeah, we can do that. Well, in this world, when you have a technology problem in a bank, man, your customers don't give a shit who your technology vendor is. It's your fault I can't get into my money, and they're mad as hell. We've got to make this right, and we've got to make it safe, innovate at zero. Now, that's what we bring to the table on the banking side. We know all these companies. They're our friends. We've helped them set up all these things. We get it. We're the bridge, the enzyme between banking and economic innovation, FinTech, that allows neat products to come to you. But the bankers, they need help too. And so they bring in a consultant like they always have, which we all kind of tease that, there's some good ones out there, but for the most part, they're not. They're the washout guys that used to sell core and they didn't make their quota. They're not the smartest. So, and again, just let me ask you this. Do you think the banks have the best products out there? Raise your hand. It's crickets, man. Why not? They should have all these things. Because they're going to somebody that it's a consultant. I'm a banker, man, not a tech guy. So I bring in a guy that's a consultant on that side of the world. Does he know what he's talking about? Hell no. What I need is a company that's got all the data on everybody that can tell me these guys are growing at 18% annual organically versus, okay, and these guys are actually, who has the most market? So we came up with formulas around these things, not scoring models, but growth, trajectory, market share, KPIs, things that we're measuring these FinTech companies by. Because you have the biggest and the best NCR doesn't mean they're not getting their ass kicked by Robinhood and Chime, right? Okay. So these companies that are out there, how do I know who to work with? And this Crockett company, is he any good? Right? Well, why don't we talk about how many installs do they have? What's their growth trajectory look like? Okay, now you're catching a tiger by the tail because you use data to get there. That's how we help the banker. Why do you do it for free? Because they've been lied to. They don't believe anybody. You don't need to listen to a consultant tell you these are your 3 finalists on this decision of technology you should pick. Why don't you go out there and say who integrates with what you have, look at that information and come back and say there's actually 4 people that you should be talking to. Why is this guy not on the list? Because he doesn't give you a kickback good enough. That's bullshit. You should know what your short list are. Or get the other one. I thought there were 62 vendors in this space. There are. But there's 2 that meet your tech stack.
So you're describing the bankers helping bankers vendor selector, correct?
Hey, good man. I know you knew that. Yeah. So we
Okay.
created an automated way. So back when Tanner and I came over with integration ecosystem, it's like, wouldn't this be cool if a banker, since we already know all their tech stack, right? I mean, I don't need to ask a banker who's your core. We already know that. So you come in and here's the name of your bank and here's your charter number. Boom, I already got everything. What's your question today? Well, I'd like to look at changing my core. I'd like to do this or that. What you'd like to change your vendor, right? In banking with all these cool regulations, I need to know who has at least 3 installs on my current stuff. Guys like me, okay, who's safe, who meets the criteria of eligible, and who integrates to my stuff. You guys know this, right? If you've ever had a Ford truck and a Chevy truck, and you had a flat, those damn wheels don't line up. The lug nuts are different, right? And so I can't put a Ford wheel on a Chevy wheel. I've got to integrate technology with an integration partner that's pre-existed integration and hopefully through a nice, easy API. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So if I had to pick a vendor and I could say, Joe, come in here. I already know, hey, Joe, what's up? Yes, this is where you are. What's your question today? And I need to know if I can change this. And it's like, here are the 3 vendors that meet that criteria. This is your short list. It takes 10 months and $120,000 to get to that question with a consultant to go through your RFP process, which is all bullshit. Because the only people that are going to give you on that selection list are the ones that are going to be paying them. Right on, man. And if you don't think that's the case, well, they can't do that. They have to disclose that if I ask them by law. Yep. And that's why we have NDAs. Bingo. We beat the law now. They don't have to tell you shit. Okay. Everybody want the hard truth in the world? That's it. So why would everybody want to sponsor Bankers Helping Bankers? We tell the truth. We give you the mathematical answer and we do it for free. Now, the answer might be a red cup. If that's the damn red cup maker is like, you guys are awesome. Thanks for the lead. All we did was tell the truth and put it where it should have been in the first place. We're not making the finalist decision for you. I'm just showing you your short list. 4 or 5 guys, 3 guys. I can give you all the information you want on those guys. And you make that decision. You don't need an interpreter anymore.
So how do you guys? You mentioned, and we make money a lot of different ways. We don't charge bankers for it. How do you make money?
All right, well, coming up
If you
with
don't
the
mind me
first,
asking.
yeah, I mean, the data company, we make a lot of money there. It's ridiculous. I hate that people are this way. I'm going to be an arrogant asshole for a minute if it's okay. Man, I created the first bank database. We created the concepts of how to peer group things in a different way. If you take the top 25th percentile on an income item, wouldn't we call that high performance banking, right? Okay. Well, what if I took just that stratification of top 25% and broke out all the parts of expense and income related to ROI or ROA or capital? And man, I can take all of these parts and pieces all the way down from premises and fixed assets, number of employees. I mean, what's your non-interest income, your interest expense? I want to take every one of those little boxes and look at this from the perspective of, show me the 10% to the 90th percent. Where do I fall in that? If it's green and I'm above 50%, cool. Show me the red boxes. What can I do to fix that? And then I would be in the top 25th percentile and be a high performance bank. Well, I can do the KPIs on the tech guys as well. We can see how they're doing, their trajectory, all these things, the integration patterns here. It's the roadmap of how to do this. I can make you, so let me ask you this. You go to the conference, you walk around the exhibit hall, you put your card in the damn fishbowl, and maybe you're going to win a fucking iPod. 1990, right? Okay, now we're going to maybe give you an iPad, or maybe we're going to give you this, or you can hit the golf ball in the hole. This bullshit. And you know what they do when they get home? They get somebody to grab those cards that you all gave them, or little QR on the badge now, or what. Okay, then they qualify. We're qualifying these to find out, do they fit our criteria? What a friggin' waste. Why don't you just market to qualified people? Bing. That's what we do. Your customer acquisition cost gone. Only if I need guys that are on Jack Henry, that are ag banks between 500 and 800 billion, that only work with NCR, blah, 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 blah. Give me your criteria of your ideal customer profile, your ICP. I can put it right in your hand. This is your potential client base in the United States of America. And the question you'd ask me is, if I wanted to change that and build another integration so I could make it this would be my client base or ICP, what integration should I do next? Well, what everybody would do at that point, well, who's got the most market share? And I'd be like, no. Who's got the best trajectory? Now we're getting in the game. This is how you cut costs for people. This is how you use technology and data to help tech companies. Every tech guy wants to come to us that wants to sell anything in the banking industry. We make a fortune at this. Use that to go help the bankers. The bankers are the bottleneck. And when we're losing banks, oh my God, it's terrifying. I got a granddaughter, birthday today, by the way. Cool. Happy birthday, Skylar.
How old?
2 years old. Good
2 years old.
It's great. Yeah.
That's one of the greatest times ever.
Yeah, she likes my little gold necklace. I'm like,
Oh yeah, she grab on it and strangle you?
Yeah, she loves it. So now she's got her new word, go. Like, yeah,
Go.
so I got her little gold necklace for her birthday. Anyway, one day she's going to be mad as hell at me when I'm long gone because I didn't fix this problem and I could have. And that's how I feel about this is, damn it, we know what to do. And we can fix this problem. And right now we're watching. Why is our company logo on a buffalo with an American flag? Who's dumb enough to do that? Well, you better be a by God true real American. You better believe in what the hell this country's about and what can you do to fix it. If not you, who? And if not now, when? We're at the right spot. There's an old line that Patton had when he ran out of gas in Europe. He said, I got the right instrument, the right army, the right weaponry, the right everything at the exact right spot at the right moment in history, and I ran out of gas? Okay. We're not going to fucking run out of gas. We know what to do to solve this. We can help create and fund new FinTech companies. We can bring them to banks. We can help community banks survive and thrive and take the power away from those sons of bitches in Wall Street. I mean, I don't give a shit about Jamie Dimon. He's the greatest banker in the world. Try running a fucking $100 million bank in the middle of nowhere. That's hard. And surviving. Anybody. I mean, Crockett wants his job for sure, right? It ain't that hard. What's hard is surviving as a community bank. 12,000 down to 4,400. What do you think the future looks like, guys? I've watched 1,100 banks in Texas down to below 400. And we estimate, based on current numbers, okay, so when mergers and acquisitions, where does that happen? We use data, right? So we look at all this and go, you're below 250 million, you better be doing something. Well, we've taken 250 million banks, turned them into $1 billion banks by the use of technology. Bank self-lender. We do these things all the time. I can show you how to get there. And what do I charge you for it? Nothing. Because all my vendor clients and all of us and me and my granddaughter are relying on you to survive. Otherwise, we're going to be in Europe. Oh, God. And you could have fixed it. Competition for capital is massive.
Okay, so what do you need more of to do that? I mean, you're talking like what is your goal for, like, let's just say 2026, and if you want to break it up to FinFis and BHB, what do you need more of to what's the goal? What's the objective? Kind of like that stretch goal, and then what do you need more of to get there?
And again, I don't want to sound like an arrogant person.
That's okay.
It's okay when my wife thinks I'm a, big-headed guy, but it's not cool when anybody else does. And honestly, we don't need anything. We can help all of them. And almost everybody knows that. And they're pouring in to get help, whether it's the bank or the rest of them. It's what we call sleepy banks. He's sleepy bank. We've done this since 1910. Why would I want to go take a risk? Hey, we built our brand, First National Bank. Why would I want to give that brand away to some FinTech company? Okay, you guys got to pull your head right out of your ass right now. And here's the deal. The sense of urgency is what we all have a problem and what we need. We need to slap the shit out of these people and get them to wake the fuck up.
Okay.
You're going to all these national associations, ICBA, ABA, state associations, IBET, all these things. They have literally been your leadership, and you've lost 3/4 of your army, and you're doing the same thing. Stop being a dumbass. Come to the dark side. Man, I don't want to do anything like that Synapse stuff. Okay, we're not talking about fucking Model T here. We've got Corvettes now. We've got really cool cars. We can do a lot of things. It's way better, and it's fully compliant. It's awesome, and you're missing out. So in banking, cost of funds, that's what they pay for like a CD to bring in money, and they lend that out. And I talked to bankers, I did it yesterday. I'm like, what if I could tell you that I can take your cost of funds to a negative number? I'm like, I said, take a minute to digest that. What I just said was I can have people bring you deposits and pay you to do it. That's what FinTech does. He wants to offer a card, Chime. Take that interchange, and the banker that's his sponsor bank gets that interchange. So wait a minute. He's opening new accounts. I get to lend against these deposits, and I get paid to do it? All right, now we've taken your cost of funds to 0 or below. Maybe I should buy some loans from SoFi. And I can buy them by 850, 820, 720 or 680 credit score tranches with a level of risk that's measurable. Let's go ahead and get the 9%ers. So instead of running my bank at 3.8 or 4% target spread, I knock the hell out of the bottom of that where I'm actually making money right away. I'm at probably 8 or better. And if I took the income side higher on the yield, how about we run banking at a norm of 8 or 12%? Okay, you want to sell that bank? I don't. And if you said, man, I don't know about my succession planning because it's not really cool. Yeah, Chime's not pretty cool. Robinhood's not pretty cool. It's you that's not pretty cool. You need to stop making bad decisions, get your ass in the game. And again, here's my thing. So John Burns, good buddy, my old John Burns, go to these bankers telling me 2 years from now, every one of y'all are going to have a website. Everybody's like, what's a bank website? Okay, so the bankers, this is what we do as bankers. We get together, we have a committee, we form it. I don't think the internet's ever going to happen. So that's over. Until you have to do that again. What I'm encouraging people is stay engaged, continue to learn. If you do, you're going to wake up one morning and go, that intern dude, he was actually right. We got rid of his ass, and the new girl in here is saying, we need a website. Of course you did. You always did. You just made the wrong decision. What you need to do is stop making decisions, get your ass in the game. You don't have to be a sponsor bank, but I'd be sponsor bank ready. In other words, I'd have all my due diligence pieces put together, all my policies put together, everything ready to go. So when somebody says, hey, Taylor Swift wants to launch a card with our bank. What do you think? Should we do it? Hell yes, you should do it. HEB wants to do a debit card. Okay. Joe says, I can help you guys make a lot more money. I want to see community banks be profitable at a level to where that charter's so fucking valuable, you'd never get rid of it. I got my biggest problem. What do I need? I need people to slap the shit out of these bankers and say, call these guys and let them help you. Why do you do it for free? Because we can.
All right, I have a use case for you that I really want your opinion on.
Okay, man. Hit me.
But we'll keep going. So I'm loving this, by the way. None of it seems arrogant, and it's great. If you could wave a magic wand and have AI fix something for you, what would it be?
Damn sure wouldn't be lending. That's
Okay.
where everybody wants to go in banking. It's like, we can do credit decisioning. I'm like, okay, let's take the gloves off here and be realistic. What would AI come up with? When people talk about RPA and process automation, there's things that have to be done in banking to fulfill compliance needs. AI can learn every word of the compliance doc and understand every use case and how you're doing those documentations and parts and pieces inside your bank today and continually keep up with that. A lot of bankers think we're supposed to use AI to look at our existing clients and figure out how we're supposed to make more money from them. That's the wrong way to look at AI. I would use AI and to find out where's the friggin' money movement. Where's the money going? And all I want to say to anybody, if you're still sleeping through this damn thing and you're a banker, how come you didn't beat the shit out of SoFi? I remember, man, years ago, SoFi had talked to us and we're laughing about it because these are the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. Well, they got smarter in a friggin' hurry. They learned from us and other people. They built the right parts and pieces, and then one day, ding, they went and bought the smallest bank in America. And the next day, put $850 million of capital into it. And they're buying. Now these guys are hitting me up going, do you know anybody else that can buy more loans from us? We're putting in more loans than we know what to do with. Okay. Now we've gone into an asset management world. Loans come in, they put them into the banking system, and they're sold out. SoFi holds as much as it wants, grows as much as it wants, and makes money hand over fist. That's why it said SoFi on the top of the Super Bowl. And if they did that, can't you do that as a bank? Yeah. You can do anything they can do. This is the biggest thing I want everybody to see. There isn't a FinTech out there that can be a bank. He needs a bank charter. You have a bank charter, and you can do anything they can do. There's nothing they're doing that you can't. The problem is you. You got to get off your ass, pick up the phone, and call people that can help you. Why don't you call the smartest people in America that would do it for free and show you everything that they can do? I'm not trying to do anything here to promote myself or what we do. If you got a better idea, I'll follow you. But I'm trying to say banking. And right now, everybody in the world, I hate bankers. I do too. One of the big four. That's what we're trying to prevent here. If you hate bankers, join us and let's make more community bankers. Those are the guys in 104-degree heat. They're out there cooking burgers to raise money for cheerleaders. They got their bank on the center field fence of the high school baseball stadium. These are people that sweat, freeze their ass off in winter to put on a float for the championship, holding the gold ball. Maybe we'll win the football championship, state champions next year. But we're going to do a fundraiser so we can get those kids some helmets. This is your community banker. If you give a shit, get your bank account and move it to a community bank for the love of God. And if you're a community bank, wake the fuck up and start offering services. Here's what gets me. Okay, I don't know a FinTech that I can't pick up my phone, look at it, and I can make a loan. I could buy a hot dog. Can you do that with your bank mobile app? No one can do that with their bank mobile app. Not one. Why didn't everybody do that?
What was the use case that you said you can't do? Buy a hot dog?
Yeah, I can buy a hot dog with my FinTech app. I can use it to make a purchase. That's why I did it. I'm a virtual company on a phone. Chime. There is no Chime building. It's literally a virtual company that issues a debit card. I can go buy a hot dog with my phone or my card issued by a company that doesn't even have a building. You can't do that at your bank. I know friggin' sponsor banks that are sponsoring FinTech companies, and their bank's app can't buy a hot dog. Do we have a problem here?
So yeah. I didn't really realize it was that
right?
prolific. I
talk to bankers all the time. I'm like, hey man, tell you what. Why don't you ask your daughter how she makes a phone? How she'll come into your bank, make a loan. She'll be like, I ain't going to your bank. I want to use my phone, man. That's how I make my loans. Rocket Mortgage.
Right.
You can do that too.
Right.
Why are you doing it?
So what you're wanting to do is get the community bankers that haven't woken up to the fact that this is the future, and if you don't, you're going to be one of the four. You're not going to be part of the 4,500. You're going to be part of the 8,000.
You're not going to make it.
Right.
We were
All right.
12,000 to under 4,000, 4,500 now. There's money being made and an opportunity of a lifetime, and you're sleeping through the damn thing until somebody swims up and bites you on the ass. Wake up! And if you don't, do you realize there's a queue? How long does it take to change your core? How long does it take to do these things? Well, they've got a bottleneck. When everybody is trying to do all this at the same time, by the time you do wake up, you're last in line, and it might not be fast enough.
Okay.
Back to why do we do these things for free? There is no, I don't want to hear any bullshit. It's being done 100% for free, offered by the best experts in the world, people that know everybody. And I mean, golly, man, what does it friggin' take?
Hey, sometimes sometimes you have folks that are unconsciously incompetent. Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to admit that they are. By the way, all right. So let's say you're talking to a
Especially
banker.
old people, right?
Yeah. Let's say we're talking to a banker who's listening to you right now, and describe who he is that needs to get in touch with you, and tell him how to do it.
Okay. If your bank is doing traditional banking and you have not stepped outside of that role to either be a sponsor bank, offer embedded finance to your merchant customers, or actually created your own digital division of your chartered institution. In other words, another app of your own, badass bank, redneck bank, all these things, beggar's lender, if you have not done any of those three things, or participating in specialty finance, buying, selling loans, basically, right? If you're not doing these things right now, there's probably something you are doing that is pretty cool. Maybe you have a little niche here. Hey, man, we really specialize in these badass 401ks where we create an LLC. Okay, well, all these cool things you're doing, we can help you turn that niche market into a product nationwide. Or we can help you. And their question is always, if I did this, yes, we can help you with the regulatory side. Of course, we work with all the regulators all the time. Not as a vendor. We help them because we have the data. Okay. They come to us for due diligence, DOJ, antitrust, all of this. Okay. Yeah, we can help you, man. The other question is, if I was to do this, how do I find a good fintech? I said, it's like mosquito. It's like mosquitoes at the beach. All you have to do is take your shirt off, and you'll get 800 mosquito bites at dark at the beach every day. Okay, they're going to find you. And the reason they're going to find you is because I'm going to tell them about you. And they're calling me every day. I've got literally right now $1 opportunities all over the place. But you've got to move at the speed of business. Well, it'll take you 6 months at least to go through the due diligence process. Why haven't you started? I can help you with all of that. But if you want to take 6 months to evaluate somebody, well, and I had another banker friend, he did all that. That guy, they weren't compliant and all that. Okay, because he did something stupid with a dumbass doesn't mean you have to, or they're all that way. How about we go to the pros? Let's go to training camp, get your shit together, come with me. I'll show you how to do all this. And we'll do it for you for free. Yes, we've got all your policy procedures written out, everything taken care of for you. And I'll bring, because we know, we call them, okay, you ready for this? You're going to like this. We call them the features of FinTech. Buy now, pay later, earned wage, same day direct deposit, your early paycheck, on and on and on. These are the features that every FinTech app, it has one of these features. These are the things there, all right? I know every vendor in every one of those categories, whether it's issuing a card, whether it's doing it, on and on and on. We know every vendor. How do you know every? Because we have the data. Of course, they want to come to us because they want you to be their client. I know all their CEOs. I just need to know what you want to do when you grow up. You want to do asset side and deposit side, or just deposit side? What do you want to do, man? You want to do Taylor Swift's debit card? I mean, I don't know. What is it? What do you want? Maybe you could take a union that makes money off union dues. And maybe that union says, you know what, I bet my members would use our card if it helped the union. Then issue a debit card for unions. Maybe city treasuries or public funds. Like licenses and hunting and fishing licenses. There's so many. How about the bus rides downtown? Don't they have a little card they can do that with? And I'll bet you that city is paying Chase $100 zillion a year rather than making money off that. There's so many opportunities. They broke the glass, y'all. It's open. Anybody can do anything. The catch is, do you know who they are? All of them for each function. And can you tell me who's doing it with trajectory and in a compliant way? How would you know what the compliant is? Because we created it with the regulators to make sure I can tell you at the bank level how much Joe has in every one of these accounts. So if you think about fingers on a hand, this FinTech, that's Robinhood, Chime, okay, this is the bank. I need to be able to tell all million customers, each one of them, how much money's in the bank. That wasn't hard for us. That was an easy deal. We got that created with 3 or 4 different cores. We've got all the vendors on board. It's easy to do. There's nothing stopping anybody at this point. And that goes for the companies and the merchants too. You say, hey, I got an idea. I bet you do, right? Now that everybody sees this, it's like, shoot, man. When I'm telling you about 18-year-old kids that have been hanging out with me for a couple of years that now have multiple business launched, what do you think they're doing? Payments. It's everything.
Well, Katie bar the door is what that sounds like, and then get on because it's going to be a bucking Bronco.
You said the F Bronco. I like.
Well, good stuff. Hey, man, I really appreciate. How can people connect with you if if they want to reach you, Dave?
God, don't call me.
Call Tanner.
No, I'm kidding, man. FedFis, FedFis, like federal FIs. It's FedFis. The other one, bankershelpingbankers.com. One word. That's it.
Very cool.
It's that simple. Go there, hit info, ask for help, and you'll get a phone call. Nothing else. If you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to find us. We're not hard to find. But no, I'm not giving my personal phone number to anybody. That's terrifying.
Well, yeah, I tell you what.
Here's the thing. We needed to expand this level of expertise across our own organization so that we could handle the volume of this, right? Not just the banker side. We're getting it from the vendor side as well. And we've done a really great job of that. Matthew Smith is the CEO of Bankers Helping Bankers. Tanner, oh man, smartest guy in the whole world. I'm going to say this on camera. I swear to God, I think Tanner is like one of the greatest people in the history of our country, like Thomas Jefferson level. He is amazing as a human being. And have a conversation with that guy one time. You'll never forget it, ever. He's a badass, smartest person alive. I'd have never created any of this stuff without his ability and insights. And what he can see and articulate for visionary and how to get to the future faster and make money in a really competitive environment and realize the disproportionate thing we're talking about, 150, 160 sponsored banks, 750 FinTechs, and there's a line of them out the door after that, wanting to become live. We need more sponsor banks badly. They'll make your bank a ton of money, and you can grow your bank into survival mode. As we sit here and watch the buffalo go away, there's no excuse. And actually, I think, Joe, your grandkids, it's just what you're doing is it's a disservice to our country and your own family, and every business owner and operator in the future will suffer because of your inaction today. And if you don't want to lead, get the hell out of the way and give the reins to somebody younger. But 65-year-old people signing 10-year contracts is dumb.
Gotcha. I just want to clarify. That's the general you, not you as in Joe. I'm not doing this, right? You're talking to the bankers that are watching.
Right. No, I'm just trying to help you, like the companies and the entrepreneurships. Us working on these ideas and working with these things together, as Americans, we need these banks and we need this level of competition so that we have that capital so that our kids and grandkids and the future of our country will have that competition for capital.
All right. Very cool. Hey, well, listen, that is a wrap of the Anvil and Iron podcast with Dave Mayo from Bankers Helping Bankers and FedFis. Super enjoyed having you on the show.